What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. All right, guys, the approval has gone through when it comes to AMC's reverse stock split and the conversion of their preferred equity dividend known as APE. Little bit of disparity, and I'm going to explain to you what I'm just seeing over the past few hours in this video. Something quite isn't adding up. Obviously, over the next few days and weeks, we will probably get some answers to this. If there is more that you know that I do not mention in this video, please leave a comment down below. So let's get right into it. Before we do, I will say that, guys, I did not listen in to all of the meeting. I kind of had jumped on right when it started, and then I really wanted to focus on, I was waiting for a setup. This is the new algorithm. If you haven't seen me post this on Twitter, it's a new algorithm I've been creating with a coder for quite some time actually now. And after a lot of tweaking, it's been doing very well. But we caught 4 nice shorts on SPY all the way to the downside, has some nice moves. We didn't catch any movement to the upside. I'm thinking that because that grind was with some pretty low volume, and then that end of day spike, we had our 4 trades. That played out pretty well. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so first off, AMC did not react very well. All right, we've been kind of grinding ever since, earnings. We came up, we spiked, got above that 850 level, tried to hang around above that support of that 720. You can see right here, once resistance, return support. And then ever since then, we've been slowly just moving to the downside, as well as the entire market. There's been a lot happening outside of just AMC, and I'm sure all of you guys are aware of that. But once the approval was announced, AMC halted to the downside, we halted back up to the upside, and it kind of just began to settle. Volume started to dissipate, and then it slowly grinded. So let's go over exactly what was said at a glance. Like I said, if I missed something, guys, please leave it in the comments, and then I'm going to go over my entire take on this. So AMC shareholders approve the conversion to raise fresh cash. Obviously, guys, all of these headlines really have been very kind of negative, okay, but we're used to that. We're used to the media, shitting on all of us that are holding AMC. But it says, during the meeting, APE conversion, it passed. 88% of the votes that were casted, approved this conversion. A little bit surprising seeing that number so high. But then, as well as the second proposal, to do the reverse split 10-1. Now, I have said in multiple other videos I made, I kind of gave you my very face value take on reverse splits based on history, based on what I have learned in the market. Just being a trader, when you start hearing these things of reverse splits, offerings, dilution, those are trigger words, okay, for longs to cut their stock and for shorts to capitalize on it. It's something I learned well before 2020, okay? So obviously, those things, and I've made many mistakes on those over the years, so those things really stick with me. When I talked about, reverse split, I gave you, like I said, my face value take on it, and that it's just generally not a positive thing. What it does is it shows companies that they're trying to artificially raise their stock price. Now, market cap stays the same, so overall value stays the same, but it's it's a change of perception, okay? And the reason why they do that would either be to one, try to prevent any delisting that could be happening, all right, if the stock is trading under a certain value. Okay, or just like I said, for a better perception, trying to get, larger institutions to bid on us. Okay, that's the first thing. Obviously, the second thing when it comes to dilution, it shows that the company needs to raise capital. Okay, so these both, got approved. Now, here's where the, kind of change of events come in, and it kind of coincides with what I said at the beginning of this video, that this just doesn't quite make sense to me. So the market, reacts very quickly. Okay, so you see AMC, you see it come through. I mean, within seconds, the algorithms are triggered on, volume pours in, it immediately adjusts, right? So then you go over to APE, and you think to yourself, APE is going to become AMC, pending what we're going to talk about in just a moment. You would think that these two would balance themselves out. Now, and this is the same thing that happened once a split. You remember at 4 a.m., Okay, back in August when that, candle opened, AMC immediately went down, whatever it was, about $10 because APE opened up at $10. So you have these two separate entities, okay, but their market cap has to equal that whole value so it makes sense to the market, okay? So we've kind of had this spike back and forth, and then all of a sudden APE just begins to sell off. So my initial perception is, okay, perfect. It went through. They know that they're going to dilute. Adam Aaron has mentioned that, numerous times they need to dilute. Okay. I don't know why this is going on, but they need to dilute, and therefore it's going to, decrease, the value. It's going to hurt, anybody who's long on the stock, hurt shareholders, and it just signals that they're in trouble. But the biggest question is, why didn't APE auto adjust to that specific stock price? You would think that if the whole value, okay, of AMC APE together, let's just say was, $7, that this would trade much closer. Anytime there was talk about this, speculation about this, when the proposal first came out, you saw AMC pull, which was natural, but APE also spiked, and it was trying to bring it more of to like a net neutral, especially if that conversion was going to be made whole. So here begs the other question. The conversion of APE units as approved could be delayed with a possible court injunction hearing planned for April 27th. And we know where all of this comes about. Okay, it is the, the fund that is basically putting, a complaint, a legal complaint against, saying that this was, pretty much manipulation. We've talked about this before. So you comes to think to yourself, well, is this not going to go through? Right. And the reason why I say this is because the markets, they generally react pretty instantaneously. Okay. And if you remember, I had said to myself, said to you guys in previous other videos that based on the couple facts that Adam Aaron hadn't taken any of the questions off of the, proposal, right? And that everything seemed like it was planning that this was going to go through. The market was pricing in, okay, that this conversion was going through. It was highly likely that we were going to get at least the reverse split. Okay. I mentioned that in other videos. You can see it based on sentiment, based on what was being, tweeted, what was being talked about, and just by clearly looking at the stock price, you can see it. So here begs the other question is this conversion going to go through? If it is going through, why isn't it not adjusting to a fair value that is similar? So like I said, guys, this is very, very early on. Okay. A run up into this reverse split, into this conversion, okay, can truly happen. Obviously, all it takes is for that pressure to get to a point where it's just a little bit uncontrolled. Therefore, we see a gamma ramp, we see a buying pressure, and then shorts begin to trip over themselves. Okay. I've never been one to believe that this was a catalyst based, but more or less of a circumstance based, very similar to what had happened back in 2021. There was a lot of retail investors. There was a lot of free money. We were in that euphoric stage of the market. Okay. Market makers got caught. We had that mega, insane gamma ramp. And then it was buying pressure, and then shorts just tripped over themselves, right? It was just a series of events that had led up to this rather than a specific catalyst. Like I said, you might call that my opinion, but that is, truly what I saw. So like I said, it begs to differ. What is known is this, it doesn't seem like they're pricing this in, is basically what I'm saying. So if you guys have any other information, please leave a comment down below. I'll continue to update this. Obviously, this just came out a few hours ago, and it was, this is all fresh news. So there's a lot still have to go over, but that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.